Hey, basketball fans, Harrison Graham here on NBA Now. We are presented by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/chat. They're going to give you 20% off plus free shipping at checkout off of all of their cool men's grooming products. Trust me, they've been a life changer for me. Go to manscaped.com/chat to get 20% off and free shipping. All right, let's get into today's show. How about Kyle Lowry? A lot of trade buzz around him, especially when it comes to the Philadelphia 76ers. Latest report is that Lowry would like to land in Philly because that's his hometown, that's his hometown team, and the Toronto Raptors, while this era of being a championship contender pretty much has come to an end at this point in time. Sixers could certainly use a veteran point guard. You got Ben Simmons and Shake Milton, but you could use someone else that could take the load off of those guys as well. Lowry is a free agent after this season, so could be viewed more as a rental for Philadelphia. Keith Pompey of the Philadelphia Inquirer had this to say about this. A source said that Kyle Lowry would like to be in Philly. The source believes the Sixers and Raptors might be able to get something done, but if it comes to that, Toronto would most likely want some picks, young players, and veterans with expiring contracts. Imagine that. They want to get something in return for Kyle Lowry. Obviously, Toronto legend. He's still a good player, though. 18 points, 5.5 rebounds, 6.5 assists. That three-point percentage has been slowly climbing up the past few weeks at almost 40%. Kyle Lowry is a good trade chip for this year because you only have to commit to him for the rest of the season, not a huge financial burden, and this is a guy who knows how to win. He knows how to play. He plays within himself. Kyle Lowry could add a lot to a team like the 76ers looking to break through in the postseason. They're on top of the Eastern Conference right now, but to break through in the playoffs, you need proven winners, and Kyle Lowry is that. They should absolutely trade for him. I'm not saying you break the bank. You're obviously not going to send Ben Simmons for him, but even if it takes multiple first-round picks, I'm doing that if I am the Philadelphia 76ers. Even if it takes a young piece like a Matisse Thybulle or something like that, I think it's worth it to try and go all in for this year because even though they're in first place in the East, the Brooklyn Nets have more talent than Philadelphia. They're going to have to add a piece come playoff time. Kyle Lowry could be the right ingredient for the 76ers. Will Kyle Lowry get traded? Type Y for yes, type N for no. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video, so you might get hit with the ad break. If you do, top question in the comment section, it will be this, and you can answer right there. Let's get into some Lakers news and rumors here. Damian Jones has signed a 10-day contract with L.A. Played 14 games with Phoenix earlier this year before getting cut loose. Obviously, the Lakers need front court help, but this is more of a short-term addition for Los Angeles. This is not the, Anthony Davis is out, Damian Jones will fill the void. That's obviously not what's happening here, but you need some guys that can eat up some minutes, can give you some depth, and Jones can do that. We'll see if he proves himself enough to earn a spot on the roster long-term. I'm not convinced that happens. Davis remains out with that calf strain there. Obviously, you're not going to replace his 22.5 points with anybody, much less Damian Jones. Need Montrezl Harrell to pick it up. Markieff Morris, Marc Gasol, they kind of are what they are at this point. But the point is, this front court has been thin. And again, Damian Jones is not a guy that's going to save your front court or save your roster by any means. But can he give you 10 minutes off the bench? Can he give some of those guys a blow when needed? Yeah, he's been around for a few years now. He's someone who can come in, give you some energy, play a little bit of defense, grab some boards, and at least eat up some minutes. So that is the first news when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, Manscaped is the sponsor of today's show, and for good reason, because they're going to change your life. I was going to say save your life, maybe a bit extreme, but they will change your life because it gets gnarly downstairs. Manscaped will fix that for you guys. Lawnmower 3.0, this is the best men's grooming product out there. 20% off and free shipping off this product and all of their products at Manscaped when you go to manscaped.com/chat. Get the Lawnmower 3.0, shave downstairs, no tug, no pull, no razor burn, and you might get a little tug later. It's a great deal. Manscaped.com/chat. Get 20% off plus free shipping at checkout when you go to that link. All right, let's not get confused and say, the Lakers, their roster's set because they've signed Damian Jones. No, it's very possible they still add a player. It just may be after the All-Star break at this point, which is coming very soon. Latest reports, Lakers continue to monitor the trade and buyout market. Like I said, Jones, he's not a long-term answer. Maybe he earns a spot on the roster, but he's a 14th, 15th guy on the end of the bench type of guy, plays on load management times. That is Damian Jones. Lakers still need help in their front court. Let's not get it twisted. These are some names that continue to be out there. Andre Drummond, obviously, him and Blake Griffin for the Cavs and Pistons. They're not playing right now. They're sitting as those teams explore a trade. The Lakers probably can't trade for either of these two guys because of money, but if they get bought out by their respective teams, I would say those are prime candidates. PJ Tucker's a name that's been connected to the Lakers. He's out there. The Rockets are likely going to be sellers. Hassan Whiteside with the Kings, he hasn't been playing for them. He's a buyout candidate. And then JaVale McGee with the Cleveland Cavaliers, obviously former Laker there, he could be an option as well if he does get bought out. Current free agents, there are guys out there. DeMarcus Cousins, we'll continue to mention him. The reports are that there isn't going to be a reunion there. I don't really get that. I would at least kick the tires on Cousins, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Dwayne Dedmon, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, maybe they're kind of more in the Damian Jones category. A little bit better than Jones, but maybe not the long-term solutions you're looking for to get some depth in that front court. I absolutely believe the Lakers will still continue to scour the market, see what's available via trade and or buyout. Obviously, March 25th is the trade deadline, so you probably won't see any of these guys get bought out until then. But if they are before then, expect the Lakers to pounce as soon as possible. Name a player that the Lakers should add. I want to hear it from you guys in the comments section. Name someone LA should add for this playoff push. It can be a trade, it can be a buyout guy, whatever it is, let me know who you want the purple and gold to add for the second half of the season. Are the Brooklyn Nets shopping Spencer Dinwiddie? It's an interesting one coming from Mark Spears of ESPN. They're shopping him. If you remember, he's most likely out for the year with a partially torn ACL. Now, it's not a full tear, and, there's been videos of him working out, XYZ. Oh, he's coming back. It's the classic Instagram game, right? Like, oh, he's running on a treadmill. He must be returning. That's a long shot, but I'll be curious to see if the Nets try to ship him out because $11 million this year, $12 million next year. Maybe they try and clear some cap and make a move for a buyout candidate or someone like that. We'll see what happens. Dinwiddie's a good player, though. Only played in a couple games this year, but he was a key scorer the last couple of years. Obviously, that was before KD and Kyrie really became a major factor, and now James Harden, of course, but good six-man candidate type of player. Hopefully he gets better soon. I'll be curious to see if the Nets end up shopping him. Let's get into the latest Warriors rumors. Oh my goodness, Kristaps Porzingis, could the Warriors trade for him? Well, let's back up a bit and just give you guys the background information because this is obviously over the last couple of days here. Report coming out that the Mavs are quietly gauging the trade interest for Kristaps Porzingis. Now, Dallas, of course, has come out and strongly denied these rumors, like any organization would, but it wasn't just one report. Bleacher Report reported that they're gauging trade interest. Ian Begley of SNY reported that the Mavs actually reached out to Golden State about a potential Porzingis trade. This is very interesting. Now, the Mavs denied it, like I mentioned. A couple of quotes here we want to show you guys. Mark Cuban, it's not accurate. We haven't discussed him in a trade at all. Has not happened. And by the way, we are not happy that there is a supposed Western Conference executive ripping on one of our players. There is no trade discussion. I think they just used it as a way to put out there what they think of KP. Rick Carlisle doubled down. No trade for Porzingis. There's nothing that's been explored. I know Mark's denied it. I'm denying it. He's a Maverick. We expect him to be here. Look, are the Mavericks actively shopping Porzingis? Probably not. Are they poking around, seeing what he's worth? Probably, and they probably should because he does have injury history. Now, when it comes to the Warriors, this is very interesting because I've talked a lot on Golden State Warriors today about, hey, Steph Curry's having an MVP year. Do you make a trade to get him a legit number 2 and try to win this year even without Klay Thompson? That's risky business, but especially with KP and his injury history. But if you got a fully healthy Porzingis next to Steph Curry, that's a team that's going to light it up offensively. Now, defensively, who plays defense in the NBA, right? Like, it's fine. You'll score 125 points per game if Porzingis is healthy. That's the big if now. That's always the big if. Now he's got a stiff back that is lingering all of a sudden. He's only played about half of the games he's been eligible for since getting traded to the Mavericks. But when he is out there, when he is healthy, he is a dynamic and unguardable player in the NBA. This would be a fascinating fit in Golden State. So what do you guys think? I want to get your votes here. Should the Warriors trade for Kristaps Porzingis? Type T for trade, type P for pass. It depends on how much you're giving up. Would I at least explore it if I'm Golden State? Yes, but all in all, this is a tough one to sell because of the injury history. Type T for trade or type P for pass. Now get subscribed to the channel because the more subscribers we get, the more videos we're going to plug out just for you guys. The latest news, rumors, trades, trade deadline just around the corner as well, mailbags. We do it all here on this channel, so go ahead and subscribe. Just hit that big red button. More subs equals more videos. Could Victor Oladipo get traded? NBA trade rumors buzzing around Oladipo. Chatter is heating up according to Brian Windhorst of ESPN, and this makes sense, right? This is something we've talked about quite a bit. The Rockets they're in sell mode all of a sudden now, right? You trade Harden, that indicates what your future is. For a while, they were playing decent ball, but all of a sudden now, losers of 8 straight. This is not a team that's making the playoffs this year, and Oladipo's a free agent after this year. They need to sell him and really all of their assets to try and get as many picks as possible, because remember, the Rockets lost quite a bit of draft capital over the past few years with trades for Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook, XYZ. The list goes on and on. Oladipo's getting dealt. Like, if they don't trade Oladipo, that's a massive failure because he's not going to re-sign in Houston. He's just not going to. He's going to go somewhere else. He wants to play in Miami. He'd much rather be with a more win-now-ready team, in my opinion, and that's just not going to be the Houston Rockets. So if you're Houston, you deal Oladipo, and you get what you can. Ideally, you get at least a first-round pick, but I think you get whatever you can if you are Houston, and a lot of teams will and should have interest for Oladipo. Here are just a few that come to mind. Dallas, can you get help for Luka Doncic? Maybe Oladipo is the right answer. Golden State, we've talked about a ton with the Warriors. Hey, Steph Curry's been awesome, but his usage rate is super high. He's got to be the primary handler and scorer. Oladipo could be that ideal 2-guard that can also be a playmaker as well next to Steph Curry. Knicks, hey, they've been a surprise team this year. You already added D. Rose. You get Oladipo in there into that starting 5. That could be interesting. The Philadelphia 76ers, who've been connected to Kyle Lowry. Oladipo could be another option as well. And then how about Portland? C.J. McCollum's been banged up. Maybe you get Oladipo in there next to Damian Lillard and try to score all the points because you're not going to stop anybody in that scenario. But no one plays defense, so it's fine. Oladipo is still a good player. Now, the efficiency has waned a little bit this year, especially with the Rockets having kind of a patchwork roster. They don't really fit together, which is why they are likely going to trade him. I think his efficiency numbers would increase on a more, ready-to-win type of team. I'd love to see him in Golden State. Maybe that's a buy a little lower and not a full-out buy at the deadline type of move for a team like the Warriors. Like, hey, we'll throw 1 first-round pick for Oladipo, not the Timberwolves' top 3 protected one, a 2022 or 23 pick. Bring in Oladipo, see what happens. Maybe you re-sign him after this year. Who knows? But I definitely think Oladipo gets dealt. It's just a matter of who he goes to. Which team will trade for him? Because, again, I think he'll get traded. I want to hear from you guys down in the comments. Which NBA team will trade for Victor Oladipo? Quick NBA draft update here to wrap up our NBA news and rumors. NCAA seniors now must declare for the draft. So if you didn't know, if you're an underclassman, junior, sophomore, freshman, you always have to, fill out paperwork and declare for the draft. Seniors do this year because the NCAA recently announced that all players get an extra year, which means seniors can go back to college, which from a technicality standpoint means for as far as the NBA draft is concerned, they are underclassmen. They would be early entries if they declare for the draft. So keep that in mind. How much does this really mean? Not a lot. The seniors that go back to college weren't draft guys anyway, if we're being honest. But just a technical thing here when it comes to the NBA draft, 4-year players will have to declare after the college season. Now, what is the better part of the NBA offseason? Because we cover it all here at Chat Sports, by the way, youtube.com/ChatSportsTV. Type D for draft, type F for free agency. We have fun doing both. I think free agency is a little better, but you know what? We like both here at Chat Sports. D for draft, F for free agency. Let's hear it from you guys.